Hello, Undead and Unkindled, and welcome back to the character designs of Dark Souls bosses. Hello, Undead and Unkindled, and welcome back to my little video. Hello, Undead and Unkindled, and welcome back to my video series on the boss designs of Dark Souls. Now, if you remember last time, just beat the Asylum Demon, dealt with him, you know, after much flailing and screaming, and now we are here at Firelink Shrine. And I'm gonna implement some of the advice that I was given in the comments of the first video. First of all, by the end of this video, we're gonna have a little section where I replay some of the footage from whatever boss fight I run into next, and talk over that in a somewhat more structured fashion, rather than just my incoherent screaming, which was the normal mode of behavior. Secondly, I'm going to be unequipping a couple of items because people told me that maybe wearing full suit of armor and attempting to roll was apparently a really bad idea. So we're not going to be doing that anymore. And I'm also, as far as I can tell from the advice that I got in the comments, it's a sensible idea to up my endurance somewhat because that increases my carrying capacity, which makes it easier to do rolling. Again, I don't know much about Dark Souls. Hello, Undead and Unkindled. My name is TBSKine, and welcome back to my little video series. Hello, Undead and Unkindled. My name is TBSKine, and welcome back to this semi-experimental video series on the character designs of the bosses in Dark Souls. If you remember in the last video, I managed to beat the Asylum Demon. Now here we are at Firelink Shrine, where we are going to be, I guess, moving out and figuring out where the heck to go next and where to find the next boss. But first, thank you very much for the advice in the comments of my previous video. A lot of people showed up with advice and helpful hints and stuff to what I should do in order to make the game a little easier to play. And one of the things I was told many times is to not fat roll. Fat rolling, as it turns out, is the thing that happens when you are attempting to do dodge rolls while you are wearing way too heavy armor for your, I think it's Constitution, that's the stat that determines how much armor you can wear and how fast you can move while doing so. So I've removed a helmet and the gauntlets that are part of the default equipment, and I'm going to be replacing those with whatever the heck I can find. Whoa. And I'm also going to be following some advice I got in the comments and leveling up my endurance somewhat, and also my health, because health is probably a good thing. And again, I'm really not a Dark Souls expert. If you have any clues for me, you should once again feel very free to leave them down in the comments. I greatly appreciate the help. What the heck was that? Frickin' ghosts, man.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are...
Sorry about the car noises outside, by the way. I've got my windows open because it's a really hot summer night, and I don't want to melt in my own sweat, but it does mean that the occasional motorcycle might be intruding on the audio.
In the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happened. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead.
I can't figure out if that guy is wearing chainmail or some kind of really shiny, ugly suit. Alright, so according to the soft-spoken asshole, I need to go up to get to a church thing and ring a bell. Seems doable, but first I'm gonna follow my finely honed gamer senses and run around for a bit to try and see if there's stuff I can pick up. Hopefully I'm not gonna get killed doing this. Nice. Okay, I'm not fighting you, I guess.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thoroland. Have you business with us?
How is he
If not,
speaking without
I
moving his
prefer to
lips?
keep a distance, if possible.
Nice. So, part of the point of this series, part of the reason why I'm doing it this way. So, those of you who have been following my channel, or indeed following my social media, might know that a couple of days ago, my computer completely burned itself out. It just stopped working. The processor was running incredibly hot from absolutely nothing, and it completely and utterly screwed my ability to do anything on it. So, took it to a shop, had it repaired, which fortunately did not take very long, and now I've got a computer that works again. So if you're noticing an upgrade in the graphics quality in the game, that's because in the old recording of the first video, I had to turn the graphics settings on Dark Souls all the way down. Otherwise, my computer would instantly overheat and shut down, which was bad. But now that this is fixed and I have a processor that works again, I've turned up the graphics settings a little bit, so it looks a little nicer. I'll take that, Mr. Deadman. I talked about it in the last video, but part of the reason why I'm doing this series, while I'm trying to analyze the bosses while I'm fighting them, is because when I look at Dark Souls bosses, I've always felt that they look painfully generic. Like, it's really, to me, nothing about them has seemed unique or even particularly interesting. Nonetheless, almost everybody I've talked to who's a Dark Souls fan, or even people who aren't, like, super fans, will speak of the bosses with a certain level of affection, a certain level of, that was such a desperate fight, but it was so much fun, and when I finally overcame him, I felt so good. And that, to me, speaks of a level of quality that must exist in the character design, because if it didn't, well, frankly, people wouldn't have that reaction. Like, no matter how good the mechanics of a game is, if the character designs are absolutely awful, it's rare to have people who feel any kind of affection for the characters in question, especially the boss characters. If they're just kind of ugly and pointless and not interesting and not fun to look at, or not impossible to form any kind of a relationship with, generally, even if people say, oh yeah, the gameplay's really fun, it's gonna come with a caveat of, but like, looks like ass though. Like, at least in my opinion, visuals are a really important part of... Oh god, how do I deal with that guy without falling over the cliff? Thank you. Visuals are a really important part of how we form our relationships with video games and with video game characters, including bosses like the ones in Dark Souls. So the character designs... So essentially, the character designs must be doing something right. Like, there must be something to them that works. And I experienced that already with the Asylum Demon last time, where, like, much as he just looks like kind of a big, ugly, generic demon, I nonetheless had... I nonetheless had a visceral reaction to him. I was absolutely emotionally affected by what this guy was doing to me. This seems incredibly risky. How do you even jump? Wasn't that something like... Ah, okay. This seems like a bad idea. Okay, 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 good. Okay, alright, 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 yep, 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 yep. Now I have to get back, though. So, I've been told to read the item descriptions of absolutely everything. So I, wait, how do I... There we go. So I will. Lose nothing upon death but the ring... Okay, so it'd be really stupid to equip that right now, because... Oh, write the item descriptions. That's not just the item description. There's some other stuff going on with item descriptions. Where... Okay, well, that doesn't tell me anything new. So I shouldn't equip that right now, because I am almost assuredly going to manage to fall off this bridge somehow on the way back. So if I equip the ring, it's just going to act as some kind of cruel cosmic joke. I made it! I'm alive! So, part of the reason why I wanted to do this series in the first place was because, well, something I touched on it in the first video, that I've never had much of a relationship with the boss character designs of Dark Souls. They've always, to me, just kind of seemed like sort of painfully generic demons and dragons and undead and dudes in big scary armor, and there's never really been anything to particularly recommend them to me. But here's the thing. Everybody I know who has played Dark Souls, everybody I know who loves Dark Souls, who's a Dark Souls fan, will universally tell me that they had strong emotional reactions to the bosses and the bosses' character designs. And, okay, this seems like a problem. Okay, I'm poisoned now. That's not good. Will tell me... Everybody I know who's a Dark Souls fan will tell me that they have a strong emotional reaction to the bosses, that they care about these characters. Not in the sense of having a deep emotional connection to them, because, no, they're bosses, they're enemies, they're evil, they're obstacles to be overcome. I should probably go back to the shrine, shouldn't I? Not in the sense of having a strong, positive emotional connection to the bosses. That's rarely been the case. But in the sense of... But in the sense of the boss represents some kind of strong emotional connection for the person in question. Oh, I'm dead. Hello. Wait, where the hell is my corpse? Don't tell me I have to go up to the rat to find it. No, there I am. Okay, let's try and actually get through this point once again. Everybody I've talked to who has played Dark Souls, who's had fun with Dark Souls, whether they're fans of the series particularly or not, have told me that they have strong emotional connections to the bosses. Not in the sense of having some kind of positive emotional relationship to them, not in the sense of, oh, this is my favorite character, I love them, and I love everything about them and how they're designed and how they're made, but in the sense of this character, this boss, means something particular to me. It's connected to an important experience for me. And that, quite simply, that just doesn't happen unless there is... Unless there is something to the character design. That simply doesn't happen. It requires a certain strength of design to make a character feel that way. And clearly the FromSoft people managed that. Whatever I may think of it. And so that's the point of this series, is to go through Dark Souls and to face these bosses as a player does on their very first playthrough, and to learn to understand what's the deal with them. Like, why do they work? Why do people have these strong emotional connections to need humanity? Why do people have these strong emotional connections to these Dark Souls boss characters? Why do they respond so much to them? I should probably target you, shouldn't I? Because when people have strong reactions to character designs, somewhere down the line, someone has to have done something right. That is the thesis of this series, is that if people have strong emotional connections to Dark Souls boss characters, that has to be because it's warranted. On some level, it has to be because it was warranted. Okay. That doesn't get me anywhere. Alright, so this seems confusing. There is an episode of Game Maker's Toolkit where the host Mark Brown talks a lot about the necessity in Dark Souls for... Oh, be wary of trap, thank you very much. Learning the layout of the game, learning to understand the interconnectedness of Dark Souls as a whole. So learning to be connected to this world, learning how everything fits together, and learning how to navigate is apparently a big part of how Dark Souls is supposed to work. I'd love to. So I'm curious to see whether that's going to be a thing that happens to me. I was curious to see how much of this is even going to make it into the final edit. Alright. Well, it hasn't killed me a lot yet. I don't trust this. I don't trust this at all. Be wary of liar. Liar. What does that mean? Okay, so this looks like the door to where a boss might possibly be found, so maybe we'll get to the actual subject of this particular series now. Okay. Again, I had an impression that the white light was supposed to symbolize boss doors. Item ahead. I keep breaking these things, expecting there to maybe be some items inside, and I keep being disappointed. That sounds bigger than what I've been fighting so far. Can I make the jump over there? It's gonna hurt a lot if I can't. Whoa, okay, hello, hi. Okay, so you're probably a bad thing that I don't want to have to deal with. I feel like I remember seeing some gameplay footage where that dragon was like a thing that you had to run away from. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm gonna need to be aggressive here and deal with these guys. Alright. I'm beginning to feel that cold fear. That sort of apprehension about what might be around the corner that I've heard so much about. Please die. That's not dying. Thank you. Bonfire, 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 bonfire. How are you gonna try and screw me about this? Alright. So, kindling a bonfire. Try humanity. Yeah. Because I've heard kindling is supposed to be a thing. So, let's gain some humanity. And reverse hollowing. Neat. Okay. I want to see what the heck it does, because I genuinely don't know what kindling does. So let's spend 2 humanity. And kindle flame. Whatever the hell that means. I don't know what that means. Okay, okay, well, at least I look pretty now. I am a very handsome boy. Oh, right, when you rest at the bonfire, the monsters come back. I should probably level up a little bit before proceeding. There we go. So there's a oh my god. The hell? Really? Jesus. Alright. That was close. Another endurance, another vitality to up my equip load so that I can dodge roll. That's the strategy for now. Alright. So there's absolutely nothing up there. Oop. And it feels a lot like here the sensible thing is to just kind of run out of the way of it. Alright, now it's your turn, buddy boy. Oh, you regenerate health real slow when you have your shield up. Or stamina, as it were. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. Does not open from this side, indeed. Need key. Well, that's a penetrating insight. Chest ahead. Also, monster. Yeah. Okay, he has a multi-attack thing that happens, apparently. I wonder... Yeah, fire bombs. Wonder how the hell exactly you're supposed to see that coming. I'm gonna have to figure that out. There's definitely a chest here, but I'm a little worried about... Alright, fire bombs. That's good. I can use those? I'm actually not sure if I can use those. I don't know how that system works. Whoa. Oh, boy. Gotta remember to target. Okay, so... From here, the path goes where? This way? Oh, that's where it came from. Dang it. Oh, upstairs. Right. To where the fire bombers are. Goody. That is super great. That is fucking... That fucking owns. Ow. Okay, so... Okay, I'm alive. Barely. Neat. I should check what that... If I can actually wear that without fat rolling. I think is the correct use of that terminology. Okay, die. Please keep dying. Please stop not dying. Oh, okay. Be wary of liar. I've seen this twice now, and I keep wondering what the heck it means. Looks like I can jump over there and maybe go somewhere? That feels risky. Here. Here what? Here what? Do I... No, that doesn't do anything. I can hear someone walking around. Sounds undeady. Might be from inside the thing. Okay, those are definitely arrows. Oh, come the hell on! How are there so many projectile? Good lord. Give a man some peace and quiet. So it kind of occurs to me that I have these undead soul things that I haven't actually used. And that if I use those, maybe I could empower myself back at the bonfire. But if I go back to the bonfire, all of these motherfuckers are gonna respawn. And I don't want that. Oh. Master key was used here, okay. Now, something that people told me in the comments, I just picked the Master Key because it seemed to be the general consensus online that it was the best starting item. But then I got some warnings in the comments that having the Master Key and using it might accidentally make me bypass things or skip sections of the game that I'm not supposed to skip. And then I'd end up, you know, hanging around in a place full of creatures that are a million times too powerful for me to defeat. So I'm wary of that, but this just seemed to be, there was like a treasure chest. So that's nice. What the heck is gold pine resin? Applies lightning to right-hand weapon. That seemed like it might be useful. Uh-oh. Ah! Get the menu down. Okay. What's your deal, buddy? Your deal is that you're slow and annoying, I see. Also that you hit multiple times. Good. That's great. And you hit a lot harder than I do. Yeah, yeah. Do I have to parry you in order to get something past you? Or is it enough to just do heavy attacks? I don't know how to parry. I don't know how to time it. So if we do this, and then we stagger you by just... Yes, that works. Good. No need to parry. We can just block. That suits me very well. Oh, by the way, I keep forgetting. What's the weight rating? Oh, that's a lot less on the weight rating. So that's nice. That's some defense. Oh, good. There's a lot of you. That's... Okay, these guys are more aggressive. That's something. Should make them easier to hit. Should also make it easier for me to get hit. Yup. Well, they stagger fairly easily. Unfortunately, they tend to stagger after they have already stabbed my weak and subtle man flesh. Oh, what the hell? They can heal? I consider that cheating. Healing is my thing. I consider that cheating. Healing after fucking up in a fight. That's my thing. That's what I'm all about. These guys are intruding on my brand, man. Okay, so I was told to go... okay, hello. That's a big... Whatever the hell he is big. Try blocking. How about trying not fighting him right now? Because if I get stuck down there and I die, I have to go back down there to reclaim my shit. I should have really seen that coming. I should have really seen that coming. All right. Try weapon, okay. Under the circumstances, I'm not sure weapon helps. Imminent monster. Okay, so here's the boss. This looks like finally I've managed to drag my way to an actual boss fight, which is what we're all here for. And since that is the case, I'm going to attempt to go every single possible way except the direction where I have to fight the boss. Except, of course, there's a white smoke door, which I keep insisting I have been told means boss fight. So, let's open the door, I guess? The door. It better not die immediately after you're doing this. And again, the master key. Right, I see. Okay, so that's probably what I was warned about. Don't go down when you're supposed to go up to find the bell. So, up we shall go to the white smoke door, where we are undoubtedly going to be promptly murdered by whatever miserable monstrosity lies beyond. Okay. What's that ladder for? Again, I'm just really scared to go forward right now. Because, aha. Oh, I see. I see you. I see the hell out of you. So that's what that was, you little sneaky bastards. Okay, that roll spectacularly did not work. Okay, so I still have humanity to use as a healing item. but somehow that feels like a bad idea. Like, it feels like it might be too valuable to do that with. But on the other hand, I don't really have a lot of combat healing. So, we're just gonna do the thing that's probably dumb. Now, what misery awaits? Liar ahead. Try lightning, okay. Because I picked up this. So, lightning. Is that gonna help me? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's, okay, you're really, really big. You are really, really, really big. I don't want to fight you here. I don't want to fight you here. I super don't want to fight you here. But I do want to jump on your head. If at all possible. Aha! Okay, this guy, big, furry, looks like a generic demon as well. I can't see what the hell I'm doing. That's probably bad. Okay, good. So, now let's get a look at this sucker. And try to time our behavior. Whoa, I'm doing a lot of damage. Also taking a lot of it. Okay, Taurus Demon. Let's have a look at your design, buddy. Again, I can't kill him too quickly because kind of the whole point of the video here is that not to kill him. Okay, he's really bad at hitting me, actually. So... Ow, 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 ow. Ugh. Die, die, die. Okay, that was over way too quickly. So let's talk about what I just experienced with this guy, which was the whole point of... I thought for sure he was gonna kill me. Oh, okay. Try jumping. Okay, yeah. let's. How about we try not doing that? Unless there's a ledge down there or something. Anyway, okay. Whew, adrenaline pumping. So let's talk about the Taurus Demon. And thank you very much to the people who were leaving helpful advice on the ground. That was quite nice of you. So he approaches you in exactly the same way that the Asylum Demon does, in the sense that he jumps down from above you, and all of a sudden there's this huge, giant monster in your face that you have to deal with. Also, much like the Asylum Demon, he drops into an arena, which is super constrained. Like, my immediate thought when he jumped down in front of me is that he's going to have some kind of a charge attack. And that's going to be the first thing he does. And if it hits me, I lose like 80% of my health or something, and I have to find a way to dodge that. And the best thing I could think of was to climb up here, because it seemed to me that was kind of patterned after a combat arena. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go up there, and then he's going to come with me, and then I'm going to have some room to maneuver, maybe. But then it turned out I can actually jump down on his head, and lightning weapons apparently super effective in this situation. So thank you to the Master Key for cheating me into this a little bit. So the Taurus Demon, he is, his character design is ultimately a much different beast than the Asylum Demon is. Because the Asylum Demon is all about this corrupted, pustulant flesh. This thing that is obviously, you know, diseased and kind of disgusting and not put together quite right and affected by the world. The Taurus Demon, on the other hand, looks much more like... I mean, from what little I saw of him, he was patterned after a kind of generic goat, satyr monster, that kind of thing. I did, yeah, good job on you, buddy. I did too, and I did not expect to. This is kind of undercutting the point of the video a little bit. But he's this creature that looks much more like a furry animal, as it were. Like, he looks much more like he could actually be a creature that exists in this world. Okay, but I can clearly go out there, so why can't I go out there? Much more like he's a part of the natural flora and fauna of the world, while, you know, I suspect that he's probably not. There's probably some kind of item description to go with him that has something to do with, you know, demonic forces and corruption and what have you. But the impression that I got from his character design while I was absolutely beating on his ass... Oh, I feel really powerful right now, even though mostly it's just because I think I had the lightning sword and that helped me out a lot. furry creature is the thing. Like, that was the thing that stood out to me instantly as I saw him, is that, oh, this is not some bloated hell demon from, you know, the deepest pits of satanic lore or whatever. This is Beware of Drake. I mean, he's not a great rapper, but this is not a demonic hell beast from, you know, from the very pits of hell itself. Is that the Praise the Sun guy? I think that's the Praise the Sun guy. I feel like I've just seen a celebrity. Oh my god, should I introduce myself? The thing that came across from the Taurus demon much more clearly to me was this idea of a vicious beast. Rather than evil demon, he was a vicious beast. He was some kind of naturally occurring critter that people in Lordran just kind of have to deal with. He looked much more real, much more sensible in a way. He looked less like he'd been put together by Satan himself and more like he had been put together by evolution, which is an interesting different take, because the Asylum Demon is essentially our first taste of what Lordran is like. It's our first taste of the kind of bosses that we can expect to encounter, of the kind of mood that the game has, where you are locked in a room with something evil that wants you dead for no reason. But with a Taurus demon, first of all, because it's out in the open, ultimately, like it happens on top of a tall bridge where you could theoretically jump off, like that one message wanted me to do. I'm sure there's probably some treasure down there or something. But it happens in this much more open space that feels much more free, because I've been able to, you know, fully explore the area that leads up to it. And then all of a sudden you realize that as free as you feel, like as open as it all looks, you are still actually trapped with something that wants to kill you. But it was a different feeling for me. It was less a feeling of just pure evil, pure malice, and more a feeling of, this is an animal that's angry I have trespassed on its territory. This is a hunter that's out for food. And that, again, comes down to the more animalistic expression of his character design. But I think I'm going to have to go back and look at the footage and look up some of the concept art related to the Taurus demon in order to actually figure out what the hell I think about him. Because this happened really quickly. And I beat him the first time, which is... The point of this series of videos was that I expected to go in and die a lot to all of the bosses, which meant I would have plenty of time to observe their character designs and come up with some opinions on them. It didn't really happen this time. So in the next video... Well, first of all, after I finish talking here, there's going to be a segment where I go back, take a look at some concept art. So the idea of these videos was that I would... essentially, that I would die to the bosses a lot, that I would have long, difficult fights where it will take me a long time to learn how to beat them, and so I would have plenty of time to look at their character designs. That did not happen in this particular instance, so yeah, in the next video, hopefully we'll meet some bosses that can challenge my incredible might. So so this is awkward because the whole point of this video series, of doing it at all, was that I expected to die a lot. Like, I expected to go into any given boss fight and die at least 2 or 3 times or something like that, which would give me plenty of time to look at the boss, plenty of time to evaluate them, to figure out how I felt about them, what they said to me. Didn't really happen this time. So I'm gonna rely on Future Skyen to go back and look at the footage and come up with some more coherent points about what the heck the Taurus demon is supposed to be all about. But for now, praise the sun, I guess.